It's been a while since I've had time to make a video, so here I am, ready with my mat. All you need is your mat. If you feel like you need a towel or a ball to support you, feel free to bring it in. Otherwise, we'll just get started. So I'll have you face one edge of your mat. I'm going to face the camera so you can see what we're doing. And you want your feet hip distance apart, heels right underneath the hips and the shoulders right on top of the hips, crown of the head lengthening up towards the ceiling. Let's reach our hands up towards the ceiling as long as we can. Okay for your shoulders to rise into your ears. And now exhale, pull the armpit muscles down and press your hands down towards your hips. Again, inhale to lift the arms up. Exhale to press down, this time letting your cervical spine round, so just tucking your chin, everything else stays straight. Hands come back up towards the ceiling on the inhale. Exhale, cervical spine and thoracic spine round, this time rib cage pushes back into your bra line area. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, cervical spine, thoracic and lumbar round this time. Inhale up. And then exhale, now let everything start to articulate as you reach your fingertips down towards the front of the toes, really keeping the abdominals scooped up and towards your spine, letting your fingertips drag down towards the front of the feet, lifting your gaze up your thighs, shifting a little more weight onto the balls of the feet, and just hang there for a big breath. On your next exhale, begin to pull the navel up and slowly articulate your spine up, keeping your tailbone in towards you. Abdominals pulling up. Roll your shoulders down the back and then stack the crown of the head. Keeping your feet exactly where they are, we'll begin to press the arms forward as we send our hips back into a baby squat. And then press the arms back as you send your hips back up. Inhale to come down, and then exhale to press up. So here, we're not going to the deepest squat you possibly can. And still think about the abdominals pulling back towards your sit bones. Okay. So for me, my lower back is really tight. So I'm coming down into my deep squat. I'm just rounding and trying to avoid that. So it's really about pulling your navel back into the squat to keep your back relatively flat. Almost like when you're doing elephant on the reformer. This is just your warm-up. It doesn't have to be too big. Just noticing where you're tight here. Last 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Now as you hold, can you wrap your shoulders around your chest so you feel your abdominals deep in towards your spine? Now go ahead and slightly lift your right heel up, see if you can keep your hips steady. Bring it down. And then lift your left heel up and down. Continue to alternate. See if you can keep that lumbo-pelvic stability. Exhale as you lift. Inhale as you lower. I promise it sounds silly, but it makes such a big difference. Two more. Lift the left heel and hold it lifted. Stay really light on that leg, all of your legs on your right leg, and now you're going to reach your left leg out as you open your arms, and then tap back in. Open, and tap back in. As you pull back in, pull back with the core. That's going to help you keep the weight on your right leg, and avoid bringing that left knee forward. Last 4, and 3, 2, 1 more. Step it in and hold. Lower that heel. Square your hips. Lift the opposite heel up. And we'll begin here. Opening and closing. Opening and closing. Remember to push the hip back. Watch your knee. Make sure it's not coming into valgus. Remember to pull back in with your core. Last 4. And 3. Last 2. 1 more. Step it in, hold. Lower the heel. Lift your hips. Reach your hands up towards the ceiling and turn to the side that I should be on. You're going to slowly dive down towards your toes, abdominals pull in. fingertips touch the floor, soften your knees if you need to. Try to get your hips right on top of your heels. There's no like booty popping back and hyperextension of knees. And then begin to walk yourself towards the front edge of your mat in 3 steps if you can. Oh, I'm gonna have to move my feet back. But you're in a straight arm plank here. Now hold the straight arm plank. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Find your diagonal, pull the navel in. And now let's go ahead and roll onto your right arm. Left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Come back into the plank. And then roll onto your left hand. Okay. We're going to slowly continue to roll. This is going to start warming up our shoulders. It's going to keep our core active. Finding some obliques, which I do plan to work a lot today. Next time you roll onto your right hand, go ahead and hold. Now from here, you're going to lower your hips down, try to keep your right shoulder away from the ear, and then reach back up. So slowly coming down, and then exhale to push. Inhale down, exhale push. One more, inhale down, exhale push. Come back to center, rolling onto the other side. Okay, lowering down, and then push. Down, and push. And let it come as a resistance from that bottom oblique, and a push of the bottom oblique. One more. And up. Turning back to center, finding your plank again, and then lowering your knees down, backing up your hands if you need to find your quadruped position, spreading your fingertips apart, and then slightly spinning your biceps forward. Inhale to open up into your cow, and then exhale to round into your cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Into your cow and then hold. We're going to hold here for a few seconds. So I'd like you to really push away from your mat. Feel like you're dragging your hands back and pull your core into your spine even though you're extending. And now as you exhale, begin to tuck your tailbone first. Then you're letting your head round. Pull the abdominals in and then hold for a few seconds here. See how much more you can push away from the ground and lift through the core. Now find neutral. Shoulders should be strong. You're lengthening through both sides of the body, so crown of the head and glutes. And now try to spread your sit bones apart. I know that sounds really weird. You want to try to get as wide as you can. On your next exhale, reach your right leg back. Try to keep those hips squared. Oh, my phone rolls in the way. And then bring your leg back in. Tap the knee, and then push back out. Tap your knee, and then push back out. Notice how you start loading your right shoulder more. Try to keep your weight in center. 2. 1 more. Bring it in, switching to the other side. Exhale, left leg goes back. You can flex or point the toes here, up to you. It's really about where you can keep your foot parallel and your left hip shining down. Last 2. 1 more. Bring it in, send your hips back, open your knees, going into a child's pose here. My shoulder just popped. And then go ahead and round up. I'm going to have you come onto your back. So just warm up your body a bit. I'm already sweating, but that's not a surprise. Okay, once you're on your back, reach your legs out in front of you. I'm going to have you squeeze your legs together, pointing through the toes. Hands are going to come up towards the ceiling. I'm going to have you reach your arms back and overhead. Let your chest open, your ribs splay. And then on your next exhale, pull the rib cage in nice and tight without getting into the shoulders. On your next exhale, press your arms down towards your hips as you peel up into an abdominal curl. Inhale, arms come up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, come on up. Inhale. And exhale. Really let your core lead the movement. So your arms and your core should begin to press down before your head even lifts. Last 3, 2, 1 more lift and hold. Exhale as you hover your right leg up. Exhale as you hover your left. Right and left. Right and left. Both feet down. Hands come up, and now we're just lifting the right leg as we peel up. And lower. And lower. Lower, 1 more time. Hold, place the hands behind the head, slightly bring the elbows forward to support the head, and now bring your right leg into tabletop. Twist towards that knee. Come back to center. Hover the leg, pull it back in, twist. Hover the leg, pull it back in, twist. So some things I'm noticing here, my left leg is trying to externally rotate, try to keep it in parallel. My knee is trying to go past my hip joint, try to lift your chest up even more. Last 3, 2, 1 more. Twist and hold, little pulses up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to center, hover the leg, reach the arms forward, and then let everything come back down. Zipper up through the thighs, inhale here, exhale, peel up. I can barely speak. Hover your left leg up, lower down. Exhale, coming up. And down, and up, and down. 1 more up. Hold, hands go behind the head. You're gonna bring the left leg into tabletop. Make sure it's in alignment with your knee, with your hip. Twist towards that leg and extend to hover. Twist and hover. Twist and hover. Right leg needs to stay just as strong as the left leg is when it's hovering. Try to keep pulling your abdominals away from your waistline. And 2. 1 more. Find center, reach your arms forward, and then lower everything down. Now flex your ankles towards you. Inhale here. Exhale, begin to roll your spine up. Reaching for the tops of the toes, the arms stay parallel to the ground. Bringing your head in between your biceps. And then feeling your abdominals scoop back deeper. They're pulling you back. Head will start coming right on top of the shoulders. Begin to roll back down. And again, exhale. Rolling towards the tops of the feet. And scooping the navel, rolling back down. Keep flexing those feet like you're pushing that wall away. And again, rolling. Come all the way up into a seated position. Now pull the core in, begin to roll down as if you're coming into like a teaser, so halfway, barely off of your sit bones. Okay. Lift the right leg up, lower. Exhale, bring the left leg up, lower. Again, right leg up, lower. Left leg up, lower. Both feet together, roll all the way down. Inhale here. Exhale, roll up into that halfway position as you lift the right leg up. Hold. Now let's roll down an inch, up an inch, lower everything down. And now the left. Inhale here. Exhale. Come up into like that half teaser. Okay, chest is lifted, abdominals are pulled back. We're gonna roll down an inch, up an inch, and then everything comes down. Back to the other side. Exhale. Hold. Down an inch, up an inch. One more time. Down an inch, up an inch. Everything comes down. You're on the left. It's definitely my weaker side. Down an inch, up an inch, down an inch, up an inch. Everything comes down. Can you guess what's next? Squeeze your legs together. If you can always start in tabletop. Exhale, bring your legs up as you reach your chest up. Ooh, I almost lost that one. Holding here, and then slowly rolling down, keeping the back imprinted as you lower. And again, see if I can make it more graceful this time. Ooh, got it. Now we're gonna go ahead and lower an inch, up an inch, and then lower everything down. Ready for the two? Ooh, I should put my legs up. Inhale here, exhale. Oh, that one was better. We're gonna come down an inch, up an inch, down an inch, up an inch, and then lower everything down. Circle your arms out to the sides. Hug your knees deep in towards your chest, and then rock side to side. I don't know about you, but that was tough. Alright, so we worked your hip flexor a lot. Now let's place the feet down onto your mats. Arms are down by your sides. Begin to press all four corners of the feet down as you articulate your spine, so pulling the navel in. Begin to peel your hips up. And for my first bridge, I never really try to come up very high. Just make sure my hips are higher than my ribs. And I'm actually feeling that wrapping sensation. Abs pull in, rib cage begins to drop. Exaggerate how much you articulate down. It should feel precarious and a little shaky. Abs pull in, begin to roll up. Checking in with all four corners of the feet. Abs in, and then roll. 30 more here. One more. I said 3, so 2 more. Can you tell Pilates teachers don't count? And then 1 more. Holding at the top here. Hands come up towards the ceiling. Exhale, press the hands down. Inhale up, exhale, hands down. Every time your hands press down, can you close your rib cage more? And press your hips up higher towards the ceiling. Last 2. 1 more. Slowly lower your hips back down. Keep your imprint, even though your hips are down. Float your right leg up into tabletop. The left leg up into tabletop. Relax through the shoulders. And now tap your right foot down towards the mat. Scoot back up. Reach your left leg down towards your mat. Scoot back up. I should fix my tabletop there. Down. And up. Just seeing if we can keep that lumbo-pelvic stability. Final 2. 1 more. Make sure to keep the same angle at the knee. Hold in tabletop. Squeeze your legs. Arms press down. Let's lift the legs up. Lower. Exhale. Lower. So notice, I'm not the most flexible person ever. My legs don't completely go straight, but I'm straightening them just to the point where I can keep my abs imprinted. Not to completely straighten, but completely straighten them. They're coming out here. It's really hard for me to keep my core from pooching. So just to where you can feel stability and core. Last 2. 1 more. hold the back of the legs, walk up, slightly pull them in towards you. Shaky legs. Wiggle your feet around. Bend your legs. Hands come down by your sides. Wiggle it so you can kind of see this next one. Squeeze the legs together and then exhale. Lift the legs up. Going back for your roll. Dropping your legs as much as you can. And still scooping through the navel. Flex your ankles. Open them out to about hip distance apart. And then begin to point your toes as you slowly roll yourself down. Circling your legs and then squeezing them back together. And again, coming up and over. So all of your feet are falling. You're not dumping, this is dumping. Okay, so you want to stay long from your abs or engage through your abs. Flex, open, begin to point as you slowly articulate down. Legs together, keep them out there. Hands come up towards the ceiling. Exhale, come up into your teaser. Now hold your teaser, bend your legs, grab a hold of your shins. We're gonna roll like a ball here. Exhale. Down and seeing if you can keep your abs back. Legs in close towards your butt. Shoulders relax, it's just the hardest part for me. 2, 1. Rolling back down. Hugging those knees nice and tight. Now we can start with your bridge series. Okay. Hands come down. Arms by your sides. Abs pull in. They're super warmed up at this point. Lift your hips up and then hold. Now let's go ahead and float your right leg up into tabletop. Keep the hips squared. Exhale, press your right leg away. Bring it back in. Lower the hips. So we're lifting, kicking, in and down. Now notice, when you kick, your abs might pooch out because you're forcing it out. It's all mindful. Wherever you're working, you're exhaling, pulling it in. Last 3, 2, 1 more. Hold the leg out, reach it up towards the ceiling. Lower the hips, lift the hips. Lower evenly through the hips. Hand up, down, and up. Last 5. You can always bend your leg in tabletop if it's too much for your back. 3, 2, 1. Bend the leg to tabletop. Lower your foot down. Square your hips. Wow, mine were so uneven. I just pull in here. Right leg comes up into tabletop. Square the hips and then exhale. Kick the right leg back out. Left leg, sorry. Bring the leg in and then lower the hips. Lift, kick, in and down. Again, let's make sure your core is engaged. So you're lifting, kicking, closing through the ribcage and the abs, and then coming back down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Just grab my hips out a little more. Lifting the leg up towards the ceiling and then lowering the hips down. Lifting back up. Lowering and lifting. 5 more. 4, 3. Again, if you're feeling your back or your hip flexor too much, feel free to bend the left leg. 1 more. Lift and hold. Bend the left leg into tabletop. Lower it down. Square your hips. And then your hips are going to slowly roll down. Cross your right leg over your left leg. Flex through the ankle. Let your hips settle down first. and then pull the left leg in towards your chest. Your figure 4 stretch should feel good right now. And let's go ahead and switch to the other side. Left leg over the right. Flexing the left ankle and settling the hips down. All right. Release my legs there. Grab a hold of my legs and roll up. I'm turning back to face you guys. So I'm going to come to the middle of my mat here. Okay. Have everyone reach their arms out into a T. Let's go ahead and start opening at our sides here. Inhale as you reach your left hand towards your right hand. Try to keep that, I said the wrong direction, right hand towards the left hand. Reaching your right hand towards the left fingertips. Coming all the way up and reaching the left hand now over towards the right hand. Trying to lengthen the left fingertips towards the right. Avoid dropping the hand that's at the bottom towards the floor. Switch. And switch. And switch. I sound like a popcorn machine going off over here. Switch. Feels really good though. Switch. One more switch before we make it dynamic. So now open out into your T. As you reach your left hand down towards the floor like a cartwheel, you're going to lift that right leg up. You're going to bring everything back in. Drop to the other side. Kick the left leg up. Good. So we're coming up and over, up and over. A little more dynamic here. Testing out your balance, your glute stability, core stability. Really lengthening to the leg that's kicking out. Next time you're your left hand, hold. Try to lift through that bottom oblique. So feel like your body's going between two glass panels. Flex through the right ankle, and then little lifts up. As you lift your leg, so little pulses, you're lengthening your right heel away from you. 2, hold. Top hand's gonna go behind the head. Keep your hips squared. Exhale, round through your thoracic spine. Lengthen through your thoracic spine. As you round, feel like your right leg's kicking further away from you, and then lift. Round, and lift. Final 4. Try to keep from collapsing in that bottom hip like I'm doing right now. 3, 2, 1 more. Holding there, hand up, come all the way up. Abs pull in, we're reaching to the other side now. Hold, flex the top leg, and little pulses. As you pulse, you're trying to lengthen that leg. Okay, make sure your foot's in parallel. Bottom oblique is lifting. 4, 3, 2, hold the leg. Place the top hand behind the head. Keep lengthening that leg away from you. Now exhale, round, and lengthen. Oh, this side's harder for me. Try to keep your right glute active as you round towards your arm, and then lift. Feel that top leg kick away from you. You're scooping through the abs. Last 4. You really can't even tell what my foot's doing. 3, and 2. Ah, my leg's falling. 1 more. Lift and hold, and come all the way up. Now I'm going to have you flex your toes under your feet, or tuck your toes underneath your feet. Okay, sit back on your heels. That should help open up the feet there. Okay, that's too uncomfortable for you, you can feel free to untuck them. Better if you don't really get stretched out and do so much for us. So try to stay there. If it feels like a good stretch, try to keep your body upright. Let's reach the arms in front of you. And let's lift the arms up as we bring our hips up. Bring the arms down as we bring our hips down. So just to shoulder height. Up, down, up, down, belly. Very similar to what we did earlier. Up, down, lifting up and then holding up. Now untuck the toes. Reach your arms in front of you to shoulder height. Remember, wrap the shoulders around. So it doesn't mean round, but it means engage through your serratus as if you're pushing the wall in front of you away. So the rib cage feels like it's closing. Abdominals are zippered up here. And now we're going to go ahead and inhale. Hinge back. Okay. Try to keep your abdominals in here. Exhale, come back up. So really important here that we're leading back with the core. Your quads are eccentrically controlling, and then you're coming back up. What I don't want to see is this. Okay. Now backward folding. You're working. Still lengthening, but working. Next time you hinge back, hold. Reach the right arm up, down, left arm up, down, come all the way up. Oof, that's hard. Inhale back. This time, left arm, right arm, up. Last time here, hinging back. Let's lift both arms up, down, up, down, come all the way up. Place the hands down on the floor. Walk your knees underneath your hips. Going for some tail wags here. Looking towards your left butt cheek as it comes towards you. And then over towards your right butt cheek as it comes towards you. Feels weird to do this, but it also feels really good. Last two. One more. Center. Okay, hands are underneath your shoulders. Let's lengthen your right leg back. Left leg back. Hold. Now, slowly lower yourself all the way down, reaching those elbows back. Keep your head from dropping underneath your shoulders. Once you're down, lengthen the elbows back, pulling them by your rib cage, and then exhale, pull up at the core. Lift. Okay, we're going to slowly come back down again. If this is too hard, come down to your knees. It's more about controlling. Okay. Once you're all the way down, elbows reach back. Inhale here, and then exhale. Pull up at the core. Now hold this plank here. Okay. Let's hover your right knee down to tap the ground slightly, and then up, and then left leg, and then hold. Slowly lower yourself back down. Okay. This time, we're going to go ahead and reach both arms back, forehead facing down. Push your pubic bone down and forward into your mat. And then on your next inhale, lift the arms and legs up to hover. Tighten through your quads. Lengthen your fingertips towards your heels. And then lower back down. And again, inhale. And exhale. So notice I'm not coming up very high. I'm only coming up to where I am using my mid-back extensors to come up. I can come all the way up here, but that's not good form. I'm just dumping into my core. So my core is still picked up, my hips are pushing down and towards the mat. One more here. Now hold, reach your arms out into a T, and then lower the arms down, lift the arms up, down, and up. Close to my wall here. Down, and up. Last three. Two. Lengthen through through the back of the neck. 1. Hold the arms in that T. Turn your palms to face forward. Palms to face down. Palms to face forward. Palms to face down. You're starting to feel your back here. Maybe press your legs further in towards each other to find your pelvic floor, or lower your legs down. Or lower all the way down and then get back into it. Last 2. 1 more. Hands pressed back by your hips. Lower all the way down. All right, tuck those toes underneath your feet. Bring your elbows underneath your shoulders. You're propping yourself up. Palms can face each other or face down. Okay. And then you're going to scoop through the navel. So you're already feeling some work through the core. Toes are tucked underneath your feet. And you're going to go ahead and lift your legs off the ground. You're in your forearm plank here. Okay. So your long abdominals are pulling in. We're going to tap your right knee down. Lift. Left knee down. Lift. I need to exhale when I dip. But if you feel like the opposite is harder for you, switch your breath. 2 more here. 1 more. Hold your plank. Bring your left hand underneath your shoulder, right hand underneath your shoulder, and then begin to walk your feet towards your hands. Don't worry, you're struggling. I'm so tired, you can barely do it too. Keep your head really heavy here. Allow your body to dangle. You already did it. Just loosening up any stress in your shoulders, your neck. Wiggle your toes. You hug your elbows, slightly sway side to side. You can place your hands down and slightly jog your knees. If it's your hamstrings and your calves that you need to stretch out more. Now just pause and let yourself dangle again. Begin to pull your navel in, press your feet down, and then slowly articulate your spine up. Roll your shoulders down the back and stack your head, and you did it. I bet you're not as sweaty as I am, but hopefully you worked out just as much as I did, and that you enjoyed the video. Take care.